Okay. Peace and blessings, all my beautiful people. Hope you guys' energy is up. I'm ready to go. It's Wednesday, feeling good. Got a few things to bring to you guys, as well as some new videos that I'm dropping today that I want you guys to really check out. And you guys got to be a part of this whole movement that I got going on right now. But yeah, so there's a lot going on. We just gonna jump into it. I'm gonna talk to you guys about some things that I've seen and some things that I maybe can help you guys out with if you're having trouble in certain points. The first thing I want to start off with is coming from my hometown, Queens. Get the money, 50 Cent. Okay, for those who don't know, 50 Cent has been conquering the movie game, man. He conquered rap, and now he jumps into movies. It's crazy. He's been working this a while, and is putting in all of this work. You gotta commend it, man. I mean, this guy, he's somebody that, as an entrepreneur, you should look up to and take the certain moves he made and that resilience that he has and run with it, man. It's a blessing. So 50 Cent is dropping a new horror movie. Now, if you guys are not into horror, I'm into horror, man. I always loved horror movies from back in the day up to this point, and I'm always looking for something to give me a little shock. So on July, I believe it's July 11th, he has a movie that he's dropping, and it's called Skill. I believe it's called Skill House. Yeah, it's called Skill House. So I'm waiting to see my boy Fifth go out there and nail another one, man. His accomplishments keep stacking up and stacking up. I'm really proud of him. And a lot of people out in our, when it comes down to Queens, when it comes down to New York, we're very proud of 50 Cent. These are the things that I like to talk about when it comes to certain people that had a hard, just growing up in a certain environment and making it to these points. It's something to commend, and this is the things that I like talking about. So he's dropping this movie, Skill House. I remember as a kid, just loving like the Freddy Kruegers and all of these movies the Jason, that we all know the dope horror movies. So I'm waiting to see 50, see how he plays his hand in just the horror movie. And I always thought like, Fifth should do like a series on himself, and like, because we seen the first movie that he dropped on, his whole come up. But I always thought that Fifth should do like a series, excuse me, on just how the things that transpired inside the game when he was, getting to these points, and before he started selling all of that. You could make that into a series, man. But I'm really happy and proud of him. He's still doing the movies, and he's nailing every one of them. Now, when it comes to movies, people think it's just an easy thing to do. It's really not that easy, especially when you're dealing with budgets and the business behind it. So I'm happy to see him that's dropping a Skill House movie. I'm definitely going to support that. July 11th, you guys look out. Fifth is trying his hand in different genres of music. You never know what's next with that guy. You never know what's next. So I'm proud of him. Shouts out to G Unit. Shouts out to Tony Yayo. Everybody that's out there just trying to make better of themselves. So I just wanted to start it off on some Queens, get the money. And yeah, so shouts out to 50 Cent dropping his first, I believe this is his first horror movie. I don't believe 50, because I know he had action movies. I'm pretty sure he had a couple dramas in there, but I'm not sure if he had conquered the horror yet. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that, and I know it's gonna be dope. Yeah, so if you're just joining in, yeah, Fifth is dropping a movie July 11th, Skill House, and it's a horror movie for those people that love horror. Okay, so starting off the day. So we're hearing a lot of things going down with Diddy when it comes down to this case. The days are boiling down, and yeah, it looks like Diddy's gonna be. What's up, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope y'all energy is up. Peace and blessings. Love all y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's a beautiful day in New York, so I'm hoping wherever you guys at, y'all are feeling that same energy. And I was just telling everybody, Fifth, he's dropping a new movie July 11th. It's called Skill House, and it's a horror movie. We need different movies. Because I heard the other day that they're doing over like this might be possibilities doing over The Bodyguard, and I'm just like, you know what? That leave the classic movies, and build on top of that. And let's get some new movies about these times, the things we're going through. It's just so many things around how the world has changed from then till now that can be captured and put in movies just to get people's minds open on just new things. We need new things, man. We don't need any remixes. We need new things to open our minds to see, because Since we're on to talking about new things, Bill Gates, he recently said that, you know, a lot of jobs are going to be replaced by AI. And I also seen like out in China, they're replacing like teachers with AI. And I'm just feeling to myself, like that might not be it. Like we don't want AI to take over our jobs. We don't want AI to start doing everything for us. We want to do something for ourselves because we know doing things makes us a better person and it builds our skill set. So we don't want AI to just take over everything. I even heard, you know, there's a lot of like AI lyrics out there right now, and I don't like to point the finger at anybody, but you can kind of just tell when somebody's just, they started at this point and the AI gives them like a different type of, texture to their music, and it's after a while they're starting to notice it. So I would, you know, when it comes down to, you know, AI just taking people's jobs, I think people need their jobs, and one of the jobs that I heard AI was taking, it hurt me, it was the teachers. I don't think we need AI to teach our kids, because when it comes down to, at least not the kids, maybe at a college stage maybe, but when it comes down to like the development of the youth, I don't think AI could act. They need that interaction with another human being, and that's what develops the youth too. Not just the wording in these books. It's also like, you know, you always remember your favorite teacher, or, you know, somebody that helped you out with something. These are things that develop us as humans. So we can't put AI in everything that we do just because we don't feel like it's not getting done. We all have to have like a discipline within us, even as a kid, to know that learning is going to be always going to be better for us, our brains. We don't just want to depend on something, because once you unplug AI, once the battery goes dead, that means your brain goes dead. So you want to balance out where that AI and what positions it's taking. Now, when it comes down to solving things, as far as like in the medical field, I can see AI playing a big part in the medical field, but I still feel like you still need humans, because there's also a human healing when it comes down to being a doctor or a nurse. So I think they have to balance that out. But when it comes to education, you guys, really, I think AI could help, but it could also corrupt. And that's just my feeling on it. I know Bill Gates he's a big billionaire, trillionaire, or whatever you might say, and he's made his money. But just for the youth coming up behind now, I don't think they need to be, you know, taught by AI. I feel like teachers should be paid that much more so they can implement AI in their studies and then bring it to the youth. You know, like there's still going to be, we still need teachers in place, even if they want to bring certain things that AI with them, but we still need that teacher in place. We cannot erase our teachers. We cannot erase our leaders. These are things that I was just thinking to myself, and I'm like, you know, it's good to get things done faster, but it's also, if you slow down a little bit, you tend to grab more things and you tend to learn better. You know, it's just like you're reading a book fast. You miss things. It's just like if you're watching something and you're doing a whole bunch of things, you miss things. So when you know, once you slow it down, you start paying attention to detail. And I just feel like AI could do a lot of things to help the world, but it could also do things that just makes the world lazy in a way. And that's not what we want to do. So when they say things like that, it gets scary in my mind. And I start thinking like, you know, the youth deserve more than that. The youth deserve a little more than just throwing AI out there and then there's no teacher in place. That's not the way, you know, it's going to, AI could only, I look at AI as it's like almost like a cabinet for the things that if you taught yourself and it didn't, you know, stick to you. AI, the reason why it keeps everything in the cabinet so you can go look and get it and it's right there in your face. But for human beings, we don't need everything. We develop our skill sets by the things that we love most. So picture like it's a whole bunch of people and they're all getting taught by AI. Nobody's to say who really loves it more than, the only thing that defines who loves it more is the learning and how a person takes it in. Once a person learns it easily, we'll know that, oh no, that person, it was made for that person to do. But if AI teaches everybody that skill set and everybody has this kind of equalish platform, it doesn't say who's better at the job. It really doesn't. It just says that you got to it first or you got to it faster. And we don't really need that. I think the world needs more of human interaction, us still learning from each other, and that builds a stronger mindset than just throwing AI, because AI is just like a cabinet full of stuff, information that not everybody needs all that information. Some people go to the information that more, it's easier for them to digest. And that those are the people that more love that particular subject or whatever it might be. So that's all I had to say on that Bill Gates. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? How you doing? How you doing? I appreciate y'all this morning, man. It's a beautiful day. I just wanted to bring some good energy to you guys. Sometimes my energy can go a little bit up because I just get, sometimes I get too passionate with it. But I'm trying to get it all out to you guys, and it's not like, you know, it's coming from here, man. Sometimes I get a little too passionate for it, and I'm have to calm myself down. These are things that I'm learning as a content creator. I'm new to this live and this whole building this channel stuff. So I just appreciate that you guys still come back. Sometimes I go off the edge and I might say a little bit, but I'm just saying how I feel. And, you know, usually I keep in my mind, I just want to fix things or give people a clearer picture of what's really going on. That's my whole thing. And also, healing energy goes out to, there was another recent plane crash, and it's getting sadder and sadder. I think that when it comes down to all these planes, you know, just having these bad accidents and just all of these miscalculated steps that's leading to people's passing away, it's sad to see. And I feel like mental health is playing a big part in how we live our everyday life. And if we don't have that straight, you know, I look at it a little bit backwards when it comes to this world that we're living in. I look at money should be the thing that should, you know, when the people need money, I feel like the money should be spread out and everybody get it. Because if that's the thing that's going to build you up and wake you up to go to your job and perform at your best, why can't people just be compensated for the things that we do, and then people will see our best performance? You know, I understand that me growing up was way cheaper growing up. When I grew up, it was way cheaper to enjoy and have fun and to do what I had to do and go to certain places, buy certain things. But in these times, I understand that being that the prices are so high, I want to see the kids get paid more. I want to see people getting paid more because they want to live as well as help other people. You know, then they say you can't help somebody else if you can't help yourself. And it's sad because it feels like people are being pushed away through technology. And I see a greediness in that. I see a greediness in that. You mean to tell me it's 2025 and Tupac has been preaching ever since he was living that why are there so many homeless people and there's so much money around the world? I feel like everybody's in everybody's pockets, and it makes it that much harder for people to come together and say, you know what, here, do this for your company. No, just do it, do this. Hey, you get paid this. You said you needed more for your family, here. I feel like there's enough of that to go around, but we are all on these like walking on eggshells, not knowing what's next to come. And that it all goes back to mental health, you guys. Now, I had my mental health issues. I have anxiety, and sometimes, you know, I can just get too passionate with it to the point it hurts me. You know, so we're all dealing with different things in our lives that could be fixed if we don't just put this dollar sign around us. And it's sad out here because I see my own people like just going at each other, and it's all, when you really think about it, it's people just trying to get ahead in life and trying to do the best for their family or just for the best for themselves. But there's a greedy sense in just them, and we're over here, we're up here. There's a greediness going around that I can't seem to understand about people. It's like if something is happening in the world and we see like the tariffs and things are going up, you should have some kind of understanding. Even if you feel like, oh no, I got this, I'm making this certain amount of money. There's people out there that's not making that certain amount of money, that do want to work and do want to do their best, but what they're bringing in is just not enough to feed their family. And I can't understand how people can't understand that. That's like, don't just think for yourself. Think for the person ahead of you as well as behind you and to the side of you. We all human beings and we all need help. As much as you might feel like, oh, they're millionaires, they don't need help. No, they need help too. It might be mentally. You know what I mean? So it's like, once we start realizing the greed, that we can wipe that greed out and start realizing that, you know, people are just people and everybody wants to live a happy life. At least, look, the relationships, everything surrounds money. If you guys don't understand what every single thing, when it comes down, I see relationships can't stay together because, oh, this is what they expect, this is what they expect. Nobody's saying, you know what? I'm going to work my way to be the best person I can be. And then I'm going to present myself, because being that best person, they don't know. They feel like that a money sign is attached to it. You know, material things are put upon those people where they feel like, okay, now I'm ready. You're not ready if this is not ready, you know? And I just wanted to bring a couple things that's been on my mind and things I've just been thinking about. I see a lot of people online and there's these arguments going back and forth. And, you know, all of this fussing and fighting, it doesn't get things done. It really doesn't get things done. We see the big man in office, he's like signing up everything, and people are, you know, I can't believe some of these prices that they have on certain things. And I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, I always told you guys, be careful who you think is your enemy or your ops or whatever you want to name it. Those are not your enemies. Sometimes people paint a picture of other people and they put this friction on. Now, I don't know all the way what's going on as far as like China and us and this, but I'd never looked at other, like a whole state or all these different places like enemies. I never did that, because I always knew. I've been doing fashion for almost like 15 some odd years, probably even more. And I always knew that some of the things that us as Americans, us as people that living in America, some things that we want to get done, but we need other people to help us out to put in that work so we can continue building a business. Everybody needs a helping hand. So when you push people out and you say, oh, this, and they start, you know, finding value within themselves and this, like, oh, this is what we brought to America. This is what and then they pull that away. Now we get to see a reflection of us and how we look and what's really going on. I think that America was at its best when and I'm not saying allowing immigrants that come in here and just hurt people. I'm not talking about that. I've never seen that in my life until these times. I'm talking about the people that came from other places to better their lives and their families, and when they got here, they was prepared to do any type of work that it took for them to build their family. That same energy we need as Americans, and we also need those type of people in place so we can live our lives. Sometimes you working your hardest. Everybody needs a vacation. You can't just burn yourself out because you want to work to save what? The human experience, to me, feels right now like it's being a price tag on it. It feels like the best human experience you can get now, people are making it look like you have to have the most money. But if we really think back in the days and think about the things that we've seen in the past, it's the people with the less money that had the best experiences. They had It had the best experiences because they made do of what they had. And I think we got to take a little bit of that while we are moving on in these times. Use what you have and try to make the best out of it. Don't burn yourself out thinking that other people or there's a destination where when you get the money, everything is just going to turn into happy world. It's not like that. We all deal with things. I just feel like we need a little more comfort when it comes down to being us as workers, us as entrepreneurs. We need a little more comfort from the government, from America, to let us know that things are going to be all right. We have yet to see and hear that. Now, whatever politics and things that they put together, don't be greedy we can't be greedy and just start snatching things back and start doing this and doing that to people. We can't make our power be the say all be all in the decisions you make. Sometimes you got to give a little to take a little, you know? And I feel like we're missing that. And we're trying to replace this whole AI technology and put it around everything we do. And it's taken away from the things that we do. So pay attention to what's going on and don't be so quick to jump to AI for answers. Also, there's something that raises it raises your awareness on being smarter when you go out there and try to figure it out yourself. Having AI just jump to and it's gonna, after a while, everything becomes generic. We don't want to live a generic life. We want to live sometimes people want to live a rebellious, safe life. You know, sometimes you want to play the fool and sometimes you want to be the genius. And sometimes you just want to be you and just relax and just do the things you do without people saying, oh, you got to pay this, you got to pay that. Have you seen the prices? For the youth don't even know that the prices of cars never used to be like this. I've seen like some of these car prices are crazy. And they look at us and say, you got it. No, it's not about if you have it. It's about where are we going with this? Is there gonna be a time in the future where we have to pay for air? You know what I mean? Like, let's get the greedy intentions out of our minds and come together as people. Not just black, not just white, everybody. Everybody. There was a point in America where pets were getting treated better than humans. We have to really start finding love in the things that we do. And people have to start, especially for all the guys that, you know, everybody wants to own a business and LLC this, LLC that. But you make sure when you do all of that, you treat your workers and treat the people that's helping you get to where you have to go. Just treat them equal, treat them good, man. There's nothing wrong with saying, you know what, I'm gonna take a cut as a boss, as a leader, and I'm gonna make sure this person is compensated because they have this going on in their life. And you know how you know when the person has that going on in their life? When you're paying more attention to the person than to what the person has to do for you. Start putting yourself in other people's shoes is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. When you go out there, you know, and stay away from people that's always talking down on you and making you feel uncomfortable. That type of energy is the first way of knowing how to read energy. Is when if you go around somebody and they just could say 2 words and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh my goodness, I know where this is going. That means that you're starting to learn that energy, you can read it, you can pick up on it. And the more you start learning that, you find yourself around people that see the same way as you do, or at least, you know, understand the things that you're trying to accomplish or say. So, you know, we gotta, as human beings, I just feel like we gotta start doing better for ourselves and stop looking at our own people in a way like, you know, you're not this, you're not that. Recently, I know you guys seen this too. I've seen a lot of people getting on Wallow. You know, Wallow from $1 Million Worth of Game with him and Gilly. His podcast, there's so many podcasts, you guys, but he's one of the top podcasts. Him and Gilly, they have one of the top podcasts. And Wallow, ever since, I know Wallow's story, ever since he's touched ground and he's got his past, he's left his past behind him, but at the same point, he's also, you know, inspiring the youth to see things differently and the mistakes that he's made. He's also like letting people know, you know, how you can come from a place where, you know, people define you as this one particular person and change yourself and become a person of value and become a person that can help people. So I seen this new clip going out on, people were saying, Wallow, you know, I seen him, he was talking about black businesses, and I think people got lost in just, when people hear black, everybody gets, if you're so defensive. But I've put a video out in the past and it was dealing with kind of like the same situation. I'm a smaller channel, so it won't get as out there as him. But it seems like when he spoke on, you know, just black businesses and things like that, people didn't take a liking to how his approach was on it. But I feel like what Wallow was trying to say is, it's not that he doesn't support black businesses, because I've heard so many different people from different people besides himself that he does in Philly and serves so many different places that he does, you know, like charities and help people out and things for, you know, things that really are needed in the community. Wallow is always there showing up on time. So I think what people was, they took his conversation, and once they heard black and he's not shopping this, he's not shopping that, I think they just stopped it right there. But you have to really pay attention to what he was trying to say. When it comes down to a lot of black businesses, we have to understand, us as people, there's never been, I don't think there's ever been so much entrepreneurs in our community, at least taking the leap, I would say, to build certain things like businesses. And in these times, we see people doing it for the hustle, and we see just people doing it from the heart. There's 2 ways of looking at it. I think he was talking about the people doing it from the hustle, meaning if you open up a restaurant, make sure you have a right chef in place. Make sure the food doesn't make this person diabetes go through the roof, or this person gets sick. It's not just about you cooking it up. It's the right seasonings and things like that put in place. That's just an example of how, it's not saying that, oh, I don't support black. It's just that when he shows up, he expected a little more from our people, knowing that we can do better. And I think people took it in a way where it's like, oh, he doesn't support black. But I don't think Wallow is a type of bougie person, but when he gets a certain success, he's going to leave people behind, because how he got to that point was showing people the way. We've seen so many different times in his interviews with people like Lil Durk and so many different rappers that made mistakes or fell short street violence, and he warned them in the beginning. So he gave them the blueprint, and people still make the mistakes. And dealing with what him and Gilly dealt with, as far as Gilly losing his son, they're dealing with it, and they're still coming to the forefront trying to bring in the good word. So I don't think Wallo was out there really trying to like disrespect black culture. I think he was just out there saying, you know, we got to do better. We got to, if you're going to do something, do it at your best. You know, that's what we're mostly known for when it comes down to building and bringing our people into something that they can enjoy. So shouts out to Wallo and Gilly, man. Don't just take everything from a headline, kind of understand and read people's heart and forget about, sometimes you got to forget about what they're saying and read their heart. Are they a good person? Okay, you might not agree with it. It might have been a little harsh for you, but don't just automatically wipe him away like cancel culture and say that he's this, he's that, because he's not. I see him as a man that's trying, he's making this, everybody's going to make mistakes. Sometimes it don't come off the way you might want it, but in the end, you when you listen to it over, there's points in there that you can take and say, you know what, yeah, I could do this better. I could have did this better. So I see it all the time. I see people start clothing lines and they put the prices like skyrocket up in the air. I'm talking about through the roof, these prices, and they feel like that is going to make it a luxury brand, or that's going to make it, you know, somewhat of value. It doesn't have to be like that. You can read your demographic. You can read the temperature of the people and know that even though we see people dip down in whatever they logos they got on, some people don't have it and they try the best they can. So if you can meet your customer at that price point and maybe raise it a little bit where your profit is, it's a little, you can extend a little profit, there's nothing wrong with that. But don't put the prices through the roof and say, oh no, this is a luxury brand, because you know what? The same thing that you're doing to your people, doing that is the same thing where those big luxury brands did to people. They fool people. They put the prices up, and now we realize China just told us that they're the same as the bootleg. And what people have to understand, you are the value. When you put it on, you are a walking commercial for whatever brand it is. And that is what, it's a chain reaction when other people see other people wearing certain things. And if you don't take that seriously as a fashion designer or as a business owner, you're lost in the source. You think everything is just on pricing. I do not think everything is on pricing. I think a lot of these designers, a lot of those people that gave you big numbers on these expensive items, they were really had a greed of making triple times the price. And that's the reason why they usually fall short, or having another company have to buy into them, because they abuse their audience, they abuse their customers. You don't want to do that, digging the last bit of money that your customer, you want them to keep coming back and feeling good coming back. What's going to happen to the customer that likes spending mid-range, and now you raise the price and they can't meet that price, even though they love your stuff? You mean you don't have anything in there that they can value and take home? Always meet the prices of the community. If you're building, especially coming from how we come up, always meet that price. It don't have to be the most expensive to be the best. That's not how it works. It just has to, your clothing brand, whatever your business may be, your story is going to be the most valued in that brand. So even though that looks nice, who made that? Now you're talking. Now you're getting into the story part of it. Now you're seeing the value in that brand. That's how it usually works. So don't just go out there and just put big numbers on everything just because you feel like everybody's going to say it's exclusive. Everybody's going to have an exclusive. But not everybody's going to have a true story. And another thing that we have to get out of is just the copycat. This is like the copycat era. Stop looking over at what somebody else is doing and say, I'm going to do it better. That is not the mentality to have. You want to do something that's going to, because on social media, we find ourselves, even what I'm doing right now, there's some people that do topics and talk on lives and topics, but you still have to make it more what you do and how you are. You still got to bring it in, man. You still got to bring it in. You can't keep doing what other people are doing, because then all we get is duplications. You know, we can't live that way, and that's not the way you'll be able to profit. Because if that's the case, that means they can throw you out anytime and somebody else will be there to fill your space. Once you put the value in the things that you do, nobody can ever fill that seat, because they need you there to tell it the way you want to tell it. So that's what makes us human. That's what makes us us. And that, I hope you guys can have some kind of understanding in that too. Let me see it. Something else I wanted to bring to you guys. Oh, that's right. It is completely crazy. But I heard Sean Kingston, I heard that he made, I believe it's $100,000 bond or whatever. And I'm just thinking about Sean Kingston going to prison with his mom. Man, this is a story that it needs to be told. The scamming, I think this whole PPP, when the PPP thing came out, it's biting off more than you can chew. Now, from what I knew of Sean Kingston and his mother, I heard that the West Indian store that they had for their food was so delicious out there. And that's being an entrepreneur. But when you overcompensate, you want more than you're making, and that's when the scamming comes in. Scamming could only go so far, and it's big numbers behind scamming. It's like, it's just something, we've heard of this in the past. Scamming is something, this is nothing new. People been scamming people for years and years and years. But as we see it, technology and these times, it's easier for you to get caught doing those things. So it's sad that they both are going to prison, and that's something I just can't. I would rather just take the time for my mom's, and I don't want her to go to prison. But at the end of the day, it seems like she was like the ringleader. So I don't know. Everybody's families have different dynamics, and it's sad that it's one of our people. West Indian, she's Jamaican. I'm Bayesian, from my family from Barbados. Hate to see people come up here and do the wrong thing. We all, like I tell you, man, we gotta do the right thing. We're known to jump the hurdles. Don't walk around the hurdle now just because you think it's easy. No, keep jumping the hurdles. It makes you who you are, stronger. If you have some hurdles, you want to make some more money, or you're not making the money you feel like you're not making at this point in life, it's so many different things that you could add to whatever you got going on, or look, man, there's so many things out here you can make money from. You just got to hone in on something and realize that you could do it too. You can do it too. Before this leaves my mind, another thing, shouts out to Diddy. He has a song, I believe it has great potential for the radio. I believe the song is called That's Not What I Prefer. It's something prefer, not what I prefer. That song right there, I feel like that song could be played on the radio, and that song could be, a good drive for the youth. It has big numbers on YouTube. I don't see why it can't get a little rotation. So people could, because if the numbers are going up and up and up, that's when as far as hip hop, pull it in and bring that audience in. He's bringing in a different audience. He's bringing in an audience that's seen him for content creating and knows who he really is. Give it a shot. Start giving new music a shot. It's not like I don't hear a lot of people like it used to be. I just hear like some of the same, and I hear a lot of, people are going to release this, people are going to release that, but the people that I hear on an everyday basis when it comes to the radio or just being online, these are the people that, we gotta step it up a little bit. But I do feel like that DDG song, That's What I Prefer, is definitely radio ready. I feel like that can do something for him. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Let me see. Oh, healing energy goes out to Lil Nas X. I seen he's recently been hospitalized, and I don't know what he was hospitalized for, but it could be all sorts of things. How you live your lifestyle will in turn show out whatever you do. If you're burning yourself out or you're doing a whole bunch of shows, eventually you're going to have to slow down and start paying attention to your body and life is like one big exercise that if you don't participate in this exercise, it takes your days away, and it's just crazy, man. So I don't know what he's got himself into or what he's into, but Lil Nas X, he's been hospitalized. He said that the left side of his face, it wasn't, moving or something like that. There's so many things going on. It could be food poisoning, something you ate, but you got to be careful of the things you put in your body. That's going to be so important to a lot of people. When I was younger, I could throw some sugar back. I could eat tons of candy. But it seems like in these times, even if you're a kid, you still can't do that because it's like the sugar and all of this stuff is so high powered that kids are ruining their life early with all of this stuff. So even kids now I feel like should be eating healthy, and so they can maintain what's next to come. It's a lot of stuff that's just too sugary and things like that. Your health, it plays a big part in the things that you do and how you go forward in your life. So healing energy goes out to Lil Nas X. The hospital ain't the place to be, man. I've been in the hospital before, and it's just not a good feeling. The best feeling is when you get out the hospital, you say to yourself, it's just like drinking. You say to yourself, "Now I'm gonna fix myself up." You gotta stick to that regimen, man. You gotta stick to that regimen. Let me see. I don't know. Kanye is doing the most. It's to the point where Kanye has did and said so many things that it's just over my head, that I feel like even bringing up something on him, it feels like almost like I feel like a little bullyish when I bring up Kanye West now, because it's like, it's just a mental health mixed in with the arrogance that it just doesn't. I'm not really interested in that type of thing. I never, I'm just a human, man. I was never into like arrogant people, like, or people that just make things feel like, oh, no, it's just this, it can only go this way. No, he's saying now that, Kendrick Lamar took his spot. That's sad, because everybody has a dream. You don't think that Kendrick had a dream of being a big MC or making it big in the entertainment business, and now you made it big, and now Kendrick's where he needs to be, and now you're saying that he's taking your spot. There's enough room for everybody. Being number one is one thing, but number one comes around the world with, it's so many number ones. There's so many number ones when it comes to music. I know myself, sometimes I weigh in, it's Biggie, Jay-Z, Nas, and I don't say 1, 2, and 3, I just say 1, 1, 1. Because so many people are influential, and the first time they caught us or got us with their music, that it's hard to just keep changing around and this and that. I don't go for that stuff. I mean, there's a lot, just like they say, there's a lot of kings, a lot of queens. We gotta respect each other like that. So when he goes off he goes off the edge with the Kendrick Lamar, I don't pay it too much mind, because I don't think people should pay that type of stuff too much mind, because it's just like you end up falling in this place where it's like a me versus you thing again, where hip hop is not like that. It doesn't have to be a versus type of situation. Right now in hip hop, I think we need more interaction of who the artist really is, more life stories implemented in the music, and because we have a lot of club music, we have a lot of music that you know how to enjoy yourself with, but you don't really learn that much about the artist. And I feel like we got to get back to that, get back to the storytelling in music and things like that. And you look, talking about 50 Cent was one of the greatest storytellers in hip hop. But his story was so golden, how he came up to that point that led his career all the way through, It's one of those stories that would never, ever be forgotten. And the reason why people, you hear people saying, oh, well, I went through the same thing. I got shot too. But no, he formatted it in his music. It's a way to put it on that, instead of putting it in a way where you're just talking about it, you got to know how to package you got to know how to package your experience, in other words. And he has the greatest package when it came down to his experience. And it kind of matches with Eminem too, because Eminem's experience is like a one of one, where there was other, from the Beastie Boys, there was a lot of other white rappers, but at the end of the day, the way Eminem packaged his experience and coming with the whole 8 Mile in it, it's how you package it. So yeah, man, know how to tell your story and know how to get the most juice out of your story so people can really understand who you are. And it will live with you longer than you trying to come up with a just one hit record. There's always somebody that's going to make a hit, and there's always somebody that's going to say, hey, that's not a hit. But your story is your story. And I think a lot of MCs and a lot of artists got to take that back in and start rearranging how they release their music. And sometimes you got to date your audience as an artist. You have to date them. Let them know who you are. This is the first day. Let me throw in some of my life experiences, some things that they might have went through, so they can relate with me, instead of just throwing automatically, this is where I'm at in life. No. Back in the day, we seen artists grow up to certain points. And I don't know, the growth just stopped at a certain point. I don't know why that happened, but we need that, instead of just seeing the artists and they just jewelried up and they're just ready to go and they look like they're ready for the Grammys, when yet they have yet to drop the first album. You got to grow with your audience and know that your audience, everybody's learning this life experience thing. Everybody's learning something new as the days go by. Don't think that social media was here for us. No, we had to learn this ourselves too, you know. This is a new form of communication that is kind of interrupting the way we communicated before, where we have to put in a little more effort as far as our consumers, a little more effort as far as the people that we wanted to listen to us. This makes it a whole lot easier, but like I told you, easy is not always the best way to go. And let me see here. Oh, you know, one thing I wanted to bring to y'all attention. Did you guys hear that Mark Zuckerberg, he said that he was going to reset everybody's Facebook he said to just give it like a new, everybody had to build a page up again. And I said to myself, why would you do that? There's a lot of people that built up their channels and built up their Facebook pages. Why would you take that away? I think it was to control the money. See, people that's already getting paid for this, the things they do, if you take that away from them for they to build up their Facebook again, that's foul. I don't know, man. Some people, I would think that mostly like YouTube, that's why I say YouTube is one of the greatest platforms on earth. They give you that at least that chance to, you can build and get somewhere with it. There's a lot of people complain about being shadow banned, this and that, but it depends on content, and sometimes it's things that we have no control over. But at least you have the chance to make something of yourself. So people got to take it seriously. Take it serious, you guys. There's not a lot of platforms that you're getting the best out of it. And in these times, a lot of people, that's my heat, need jobs and things like that. So YouTube is taking a big part in this world on how people create and get to put out their art. And I think we need to really see it for what it is and try to make the best of it in these times. Try to make the best of it. Even if you're a teacher, you're a lawyer, you can bring it to YouTube and still educate in that form and sense. So it shows you how powerful the platform is. Take heed in that. Facebook, I'm not too much sure. You know, I just post here and there on Facebook for my friends and people that I knew personally. But I'm not sure when it comes down to the monetization. I know I have about 15,000 people on my Facebook channel that I just put the videos in, but you know, it's always something with them, whereas YouTube is more easier to understand and easier to conquer. I would say go for YouTube. Another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, I'm hearing Kim Kardashian. You remember when she had got robbed in Paris for, I believe, her jewelry and it was for her jewelry. She is taking a stand in court. And I believe the jewelry, it was over $10 million that jewelry was worth. So she's taking a stand in court, man. Kudos to her, man. Kudos to her. You know, she actually learned all the skills of being a lawyer and everything. And she's going to court. I'm not mad at her for protecting her peace, protecting her property. And these sometimes are things you got to do. I know nobody likes to go to court, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do, man. All of this robbing and people stealing from people, that type of energy where you don't want to earn for yourself, I ain't with it, man. I'm not with it. I'm not even with people running up on people for their jewelry and things, even if they wear it out in the street. But it's kind of like, you know, you're putting steak in front of the wolves, you know? But you can get your own. Like I told you, you want to learn about how somebody got their Rolex, how they got that chain on their neck. Why don't you ask for the information, and then so you can buy whatever you want after, instead of going and robbing that person. That's not the way of going about life, because if that's the case, nobody's going to want to buy that stuff because they're going to put themselves in harm's way. And I never understood that about people. Stop taking what people earn. You don't know how a person earned what they have. It could have been passed down in their family from people that passed away, and here you come with a big gun now behind them ready to take it from them. It don't make no sense. Don't move with that type of energy, hurting people for their valuable things or their items, the things they like. Because people will start holding back on the things that they really want to present themselves. So it's not even even though it's unsafe in certain places to wear certain jewelry and this and that, but let's go beyond that and say, come on, stop robbing people. Stop taking on this criminal mentality, when at the end of the day, you're going to get caught, man. And don't think that nobody's going to go to court. If you hurt somebody and you see them in court, don't get mad at them. You're the one that put them in harm's way. It's not the fact that you pointing a gun in somebody's face or pointing a gun at somebody to take something from them. This trauma that comes with that. Some people will never be the same after that. Some people can't sleep at night because they've been through certain situations. So it's not just they lifting the chain off their neck or they're giving you the watch on their wrist. You got to think about, they're not sleeping at night behind this. They might have not been used to that type. could you picture somebody that's not used to this type of environment and they have to go through that? No, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit different for them, you know? So don't be mindful. Don't go out there with this criminal mentality. There's enough money for everybody. Trust me, there is. But we just got to get to the bag the best way we know how. And sometimes it takes another person helping us. There's nothing wrong with getting some help from somebody. Everybody needs it. So I appreciate all the people that always support. That's why I appreciate y'all. Y'all didn't have to come show up. There's so many content creators, but still people see something or feel something in what I'm doing because I'm passionate about the things that I do, and that's the reason why people show up for me. And I appreciate that. Whether it's 100,000 people, it doesn't matter. The people that come here, I make sure you guys are gonna be able to take something from it, even if it betters your day for 2 days more or whatever it does for you. As long as it's something good and you get some positive energy out of it, I'm good with that. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Let me see. Do I have anything else for that? I had something else I wanted to bring to you guys too. Hold on. Oh, it was something else on It was something else. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Let me see 1 little second. I appreciate y'all. Where y'all shout out where y'all from, man. Shouts out to all my people in Chicago, Detroit, Florida, Texas, Louisiana, Barbados, Jamaica, everybody, man. Shouts out to y'all, and of course New York, NYC. Y'all already know how we landed this plane. Y'all already know. Love being from New York. I'm giving y'all that good New York energy. I'm glad that y'all showing up for me though. I'm really happy. Plus I have another video that's dropping, I think at 10:30. I'm gonna drop it for you guys. I want you guys to check that out too. It's really, really dope. Let's see if, let me see what else is up here. I had something else I don't want it to slip my mind. Oh, I came across this, this podcast. The guy's name is Ray Daniels. How I came across it, because I watched Choke No Joke. And I guess, you know, with the algorithm, it shows different things. And he posted this video, and he was speaking on Dame Dash and Jay-Z, and who was, I guess, be more beneficial to Kanye West. And I think when out of this whole conversation, Chuck was trying to explain that it took two of them in the beginning. But I think some people, being a big fan of Jay-Z, they can't see past the things that might have made Jay at that point who he was. And from that point, he began to learn on his own and go off. But you can't X people like Dame Dash out. And even though they have their things going on between each other, it's not for us as an audience looking in to say, oh, he's this or he's that. For us, it's a learning lesson to show that sometimes people split ways because of certain reasons. And it's not about the 48 laws of power. I hear these conversations come up a lot because a lot of people read 48 laws of power and only see certain things that they take out of it. And they're usually deceptional things that they, use in their business mindset. But there's a lot of other things that 48 laws of power brought to other people. It's awareness. That book is really, it's very psychology driven. And you can do good by reading that book. It's just knowing, sometimes people people say, I'm making a chess move. It could be it makes it sound so like deceiving. Making a chess move should be more understanding than deceiving. If you understand what I'm saying. Knowing what's next, there's an understanding in that. Not deceiving people to trick them and to show them what's next. You know what I mean? We don't gotta take that type of mentality and implement it in our lives. We just have to know that is a way of you being aware of what can happen in business, and not just business, but in your everyday life. And he was explaining how, I guess his name is Ray Daniels. He was saying that, no, Jay is the king, this and that. Yeah, I love Jay. Jay is dope. Jay is one of the dopest MCs ever in hip hop to come. His story of it is another one of those classic stories where it's like, wow, that like nobody ever packaged that experience like that. But you can't just X Dame Dash out and say that he wasn't there for him just because they might have went their own ways, you know? It's never just one person, you guys, that you're gonna go to the top with. Never think like that. Like, I have to make it to the top and forget my friends, forget this and that. Sometimes when you see that going on, there's something outside of the business that made it go that way. It's not just that's how you're supposed to conduct business. That's just not the way I look at it. And that's having love for both of them. It's not I don't really point out somebody for that, because that had nothing to do with the reason why I liked them in the first place. It all started with the music. It all started with the music. It had nothing to do with people's character back then and this and that. Now we see social media, you see the person more, you hear they start recapping things, and you see people's mistakes. But do you fault them for it? Or do you say we're just human and this could happen in any types of situations? We all dealt with similar things. So we just have to take heed in that, and it's this whole canceling out people. It's just disgusting, because the people that we end up canceling out is our own people. No good. Try to resolve your problems with people. Whether you guys don't have to talk tomorrow, as long as the problem is resolved between you guys, and you have, even if you don't come to terms with it, it's just like you come into terms and just saying that's what you believe, that's what I believe. Okay, we can go. That's different. But don't think that everything has to be like cancel and this and that. This is why the youth goes out there and they don't know how to handle their problems. You might bump their car, they come out with a gun. You might, have a little argument with somebody, they're pulling out a gun or a weapon because they felt like they're being disrespected in the argument. That all comes from social media and people just wanting to be right all the time. Stay away from those people that feel like everything they do, they're right all the time. They don't want to hear. A lot of females are dealing with this, as well as men dealing with relationships where the person feels like, oh no, everything I say is right. No. Somebody could come from a different walk of life and see it differently, and you can learn from that, and then y'all can come to a conclusion. Not everything, whether you're successful at what you do or whatever, it doesn't mean that everything you do is going to be right. That's just not how life works. Sometimes it might be a person with less education teach you something that you could never go and get from a place of education, where you can't go into school and find this type of education. They taught you through a street experience. You got to be grateful for the people that you're around and learn from everybody. That's what I say. Learn from everybody. From the guy that's laying in the street all the way to the guy that's the CEO. You can learn from everybody. That's why I get so upset when I hear like people talking down on education. No, you can't down education. Whether you feel like the educational system is broken or not, there's still a lot to learn from it. If you can understand it's broken, then you can go out there and understand what's right about it. What's wrong with that? So pay attention to what's going on nowadays, and don't let people stray you off. And if you want to learn something, you go learn it and then build on it. And I see a lot of people like they're up to their last, and it's like this energy of people stealing from other people in our culture. I see it, and I'm going to talk about it. You can't go out there and see somebody working at their dream or whatever they got going on, and you just steal, and then just because you might have more than them or doors to go in to get it done a little quicker, and you feel like you're somebody. The karma that surrounds that, you're never going to make it where you think you're going. So don't take on that energy. You work with people. If you like something that somebody's doing and you're interested in it, and you see you can help them in a certain position and you can bring value to that person, do what you got to do. God will bless you. God is not going to bless you if you look over and you're like looking on somebody else's paper and then you get an A. No, that's not how it works. These are the things that we learn from our youth that we can still take on as adults. Remember that. Be good to people, and so people won't leave that bad impression of you. Because that one person, that thing could spread to so many people when it comes to social media now. And people could relate to other people's stories. So pay attention, man. Don't let people paint you for somebody you're not. All I'm saying. I'm not too worried about the things with Donald Trump. There's a lot of things that he could do better, but we know what these people want: money. And we need each other. Oh, also congratulations to Gail and the astronauts. How can I forget? I don't think I got a chance to talk to you guys about that. It was a great feat for them. That was something that I watched them go up, man. Had tears in my eyes too. tears in my eyes behind that, man. But I'm glad that they made it back safe, and that's something that, you know, yeah, that's something that the kids will always remember. It's history. It's history. It's history. It's history. I just hope you guys are doing well for yourself and feeling good about yourself and eating the right things, doing the right things, being good to people. Y'all make sure y'all like and share this to one of your friends or something. Maybe share it on your Facebook, your Twitter, whatever handles you know you have going for yourself, so you can spread the word out there, you know. The more people open their minds up to think a little bit different, the better we are as a society, man. A lot of our communities, everybody in every community, somebody needs help. And there's always somebody there to help them. But if you don't make that communication and realize who needs the help, we'll all be lost, and we'll all just keep our things tucked in the corner, and you do that, I do this. No, when we come together, it makes not only America, but the world a better place. As that crazy that might sound to some people, that's how it is. That's how it is. You might be good at that certain thing, I might be good with this, and we put together and make it something. If we ignore each other, it ain't anything. You know, zero ownership, but you never heard like 0% of it. You just own 0%. It's like, come on. We share our ideas with people that can respect what we have going for ourselves and our ideas. That's what it's about. Everybody's running to do this, do that, and it's almost like everybody's running like time is running out. Time is not running out. Time is ticking, but it ain't running out. You know, it's ticking, but it ain't running out. You got a lot of time to do what you have to do. It doesn't matter your age. It's up to you to know what you can do as a person and push forward. Beautiful day in the NYC. I'm about to get some breakfast after this, do my routine, get myself going, you know. I start the day with you guys. I started up with you guys, and that's where I'm at with it. Another thing, in the battle rap community, you know, here and there I always bring up the battle rappers. I see a match that's going down in September that's going to be, it's a big, everybody want to see Murder Mook battle Hitman. And I think this is a battle that's been long awaited. I feel like if they put a good card around it, it's going to be fire. So we'll wait till September to see if you guys listen to battle rap. Yeah, man, so I'm going to leave you on this note, you guys. Love the people around you and make sure you understand the value within yourself. There's a lot of things that's going to be coming up that we can't explain or understand, but we just got to make it through, man. And me, myself, I'm just trying to learn new things and trying to build with my family, trying to get things going, trying to get the channel up, trying to get people to understand that there's more to life than just out there going and chopping off this next person's head and canceling this one and talking bad down on this one. Sometimes you got to speak loud so people can hear you, but at the end of the day, it's what you're saying that all makes sense, all right? I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. You know, I'm always give you that hour power. And yeah, I love you, man. Tell somebody out there that you love them, man. Form a conversation with somebody new. You never know if you can meet a new friend that's going to stay in your life longer than the people you thought that was in your life forever, all right? And cherish the people around you, man. Let me see. Do I have any shout-outs? Shouts out to all the creators and the people out there that's trying to just do better. Trying to do better. It don't matter where you start. It's all about where you end, all right? Peace and blessings. Until next time, it's your boy, Mickey Fenty, a.k.a. Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, wait. You know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. Share this with your friends, with your peoples. Tell them about your boy Mickey Made It. First to do it, y'all already know. And I love y'all. Peace.